Les Jackson. We are bringing you the news and views of the city so that you can be right on top as we get ready to talk about the 2015 State of Black America. That's our subject. The future is not looking too bright. That's what we're going to talk about. Stay tuned and bear with us. We're going to get everything set up. And you'll hear us just as we broadcast it live, simulcast. So if you get a little pause in the call, don't worry about it. Sit back, relax, grab some coffee, do your thing. We'll be right back at you. Yes, this is Les Jackson, and it's Open Talk with Les Jackson. We just want to sit back and bring you the fastest 30 minutes on radio. Today, we're going to talk about the 2015 State of Black America. The State of Black America, the future is not looking bright, that's for sure. But before we do, I want to say happy birthday to all my friends on Facebook, Twitter, blogtalkradio.com, also on Google Plus, hanging out. You're hanging out with Les Jackson today. Happy birthday to everybody. Just want to say hi and give you a big afternoon shout out. Let's get right into this thing. A few months ago, the National Urban League released a report. The report was based upon the present state of Black America. It talked about everything from unemployment to education to hunger, you name it, it talked about it. And you know what? I don't know why it is that every time we get these reports, every time we look at these reports always tell us some fantastic delusional status of the average lifestyle of a Black American. And I'm not just going to say Black American. For the next 4 days, we're going to examine four of the major areas. We're going to examine education. We're going to examine unemployment. We're going to examine homelessness and hunger. And we are going to examine the solutions. And on that day, Friday, I want you to sit back and email me. You can email me at opentalk with lesjackson7 at gmail. Also, you can put your comments on Twitter, Les Jackson at Open Talk Les. Also, you can sit back and Facebook me, facebook.com at OT Les Jackson. We want to hear from you, your thoughts. I want to hear your take because today, I just want to deal with unemployment. Today, I just want to talk about the unemployment factor and the misconception that even Black America is putting upon itself, because there's something badly wrong in these reports. And I'm hearing the same thing over and over and over, how we have made some great progress over the years, and that's normally the way it starts out. But yet, when you look at the national average, according to the 2010 Census Bureau, Blacks are still underemployed. If you look at the labor reports, we still find where Black unemployment is still hovering in the double digits, close to almost 15%, to our white counterparts who are still in the single digits at about 8%. And I'm telling you, the future is not looking bright. See, because we can no longer sit back, and I don't know why it is, but I stand and talk to people on the street corner, and one of the biggest problems for unemployment amongst Black people is that a lot of us have become so intimidated about going into the suburbs due to recent and past experience, to the point where we will not cross the boundary lines, yet knowing that the jobs lie outside of the inner city. Now, my question to all of the NAACPs and to the National Urban Leagues and to the Black entrepreneurs and to all of the different organizations that we have came up with, my question to you is, when are we going to come into the intercity and start investing and rebuilding some of the buildings in our inner cities so that we can employ the people of our color as well as some outsiders? I don't mind outsiders coming in because you have to have some diversity, but majority, let's try to take care of our own first. One of the main reasons why unemployment is so high amongst minorities is because there's nothing on the inner city. There are no jobs. Therefore, what you create is a group of men and women who have given up on the system, who feel as if the system will not work for them. Therefore, they just want to just drop out and do nothing. And let me explain something. Let me get rid of and clear up some myths here about the unemployment. Everybody that jumps on, that is unemployed, does not get welfare. I want to clear that up. Because of unemployment, not only do we see the crime rate go up in the inner city, but we also see people that are using more alcohol, more drugs. We're seeing more mental health breakdown in our society. We are seeing a depletion of our housing because people no longer can afford to be in the city. And we are creating a new type of homeless person. And it's not all people that didn't have jobs. I was just sitting back today and I was taking my daily walk, and I was just going through the neighborhood, and I was thinking about how the neighborhood was back in the 70s and 80s and how promising the future looked. And I was walking and I was looking at the many abandoned houses, not to mention the abandoned business buildings that are just left there to rot and ruin. It's amazing. It's amazing how we can allow a community to go down. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I'm not going to blame it all on government, because a lot of it is our fault. A lot of it is because we refuse to sit back and to get into that next phase. We refuse to sit back and live our dream. We refuse to sit back for whatever reasons, whether they be from powers outside or eternal powers that are in us that hold us back. We tend to be afraid to win, yet the world is progressing. Other races, creeds, and colors of people are moving forward, and it seems like in the Black American community, we are going totally backwards. Young people, Young people are losing all hope, all admiration for a future, and yet education is one of the few areas where we have gained some ground. But we're going to talk about that on Thursday. And we're going to go deep into depth about that because I want to talk about this unemployment rate. This 72%, that's disturbing. It is disturbing when you sit back and you see that we almost doubled everyone else's unemployment. It's disturbing. You can call in at 718-664-9476. Talk to me and tell me what you think about this unemployment. You know, a lot of people would have you believe, and they want you to believe, that this is somebody else's fault. But I'm starting to really wonder because I'm starting to watch a people that used to be some of the creative people in the world. I'm starting to watch us lose that fire and desire to sit back and to step out on our own abilities because we're living, let's face it, there are going to be no more factories. The factory jobs are going to be gone. No sense in you worrying about going to a factory and getting a job that's going to pay you $25, $30, $40 an hour. It's not going to happen no more. Even people in the factories that are hired in now are going in at a lesser wage than ever before. So let's debunk that. Number two, there is more employment being generated by people who step out to do their own thing in the private sector than there is in the public sector. Why? Because a lot of people have come to the realization that the world is not going to give you anything, nor does it owe you anything. Therefore, you have to look out for yourself and your own well-being as well as your family around you. Number two, it's time that we sit back as a community and come up with a comprehensive plan. A comprehensive plan, a plan that makes sense, a plan that the community can understand, where maybe if we pool in a few pennies and a few dollars, we may be able to go get a loan to open up something other than a beauty salon, barbershop, church. We need print shops. We need research centers. We need things that are going to push us into tomorrow and not keep us back in the same old, long as I get my hair done, or long as I can dress up, I'm all right. And then something else that I had just brainstormed on me. The places that are here, we need to start demanding from a lot of the places that they do hire more blacks. And I'm not talking about no affirmative action deal here. See, the government tried to step in with the affirmative action. I'm not talking about no affirmative action. I'm talking about demanding, if we are going to spend more money than everybody else, and if everybody is jockeying for our dollars, then we ought to demand that we get a certain percentage of the job. Let's face the facts. I don't see that many people denying their kids whether they're working or not working. There's not a few people that are denying their kids the PlayStation, the gym shoes, all of the things that really won't develop them or get them any kudos or build their status in one shape, form, or fashion. But yet I see them always talking about trying to make some quick money. Always talking about making quick money. And we should realize by now that quick money is most of the time dead money or institutionalized result money. That's why our prisons are so full now. That's why they're so full now. It's not so much that it is wrongful people being put in prison. It's only a small percentage. And it's not all people that are unemployed that go to prison. But we have a bad situation with the unemployment factor. And it's time that we recognize just how bad it is. Let me see if I can't just pull this thing up, because I want to give you some raw facts, because I know the way people think. See, we the kind of people, we can read it and still don't believe it. And that's another drawback. It's another thing that's holding us back. We act as if we can't see what we're reading. It's a fact. If you look at it, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to sit back and see that we are in bad shape. And if we don't sit back and hurry up and pull ourselves up, we don't have to worry about God helping us. See, and I'm tired of that too. Everybody wants God to help them out. But don't nobody want to step up and do what God told them to do. We don't want to care for ourselves. We look for handouts. We look for handouts. We look for people to sit back and just give us. Gimme. And that's why unemployment is so high amongst blacks. Because we're starting to sit back and we're getting into a rut. And now we're teaching our children to stay in that same rut. And if we keep on the way we're going, I'm sorry, folks, but you don't have to worry about the revolution. Because the revolution is already upon you. We're already in the revolution. We're in the revolution of sinking sand. Oh yes. I'm here to tell you that we are falling by the wayside, and we are allowing ourselves to fall by the wayside. We can no longer stand to sit back and to watch TV and sit on the couch and hang out on the porch or be on the street corners. We need to be about our business, because the rest of the world is moving forward, and they don't care if they leave you behind or not. They're going to keep on going, with you or without you. It has nothing to do with being at the back of the bus. Matter of fact, if we were so proud about what we had learned from the back of the bus experience, we would be sitting back now and demanding of ourselves a little bit more. And then think of it like this too. You remember I said that we're living in an age where now you have to come up with your own job, make a job. We have at our fingertips more resources than ever before. You have the libraries. You have access to books. Most of us can read and write. Most of us can sit back. If we study long enough, we can put together a business plan and go and get investors that are willing to sit back and put something into us, as long as it makes dollars and cents. Because anytime you're giving your dollar, you want to make sure that you're making something. And let's quit this lie that we're supposed to just give. I'm not in business to lose money. I'm in business to make a profit. And we act as if we're scared to take this profit. See, this is why the people from other races and ethnicities don't mind coming into the inner city and taking your money and going back out wherever they live, because they understand that we don't understand what to do with the money that we make. Unemployment is running rampant. And it's like a runaway freight train. And the reason it's running away is because so many of us are playing life so lackadaisical. I want to get to these numbers. I want to get these numbers because it's just amazing. It's just amazing how these numbers stack up. And it's amazing some of the things that, we've always blamed, we're still blaming slavery. We are still blaming slavery for our present state of unemployment. And something else that we have to do, start listening to what you're hearing. Folks is telling you every day, even in mainstream media, folks are telling you that conditions are bad. They're telling you that things are not working out. They are telling you that jobs are not going to come. They are telling you every single day, yet what do we see? Nothing. We don't see it, we don't hear it, and we damn sure don't believe it. Because we still wishing on a star somewhere. We still thinking like Chicken Little that the sky is going to fall and something's going to fall out the sky. Let me bring in real quick 111-1111. You live with Les Jackson. This is Open Talk with Les Jackson. Good afternoon. How are you? I'm doing fantastic. Joe, how you been? Yes, yes. And we're only doing 30 minutes here because we are on the other network now. We're on KKRP AM 1610 Monday nights. Yeah, Monday nights from 6 to 8. And it takes so much out of us to sit back and get the recordings and everything together for that, to where we figure we'll just do 30 minutes. And if I feel good, I may do 15 minutes overtime, Joe. Joe, what do you think about this state of Black America? Well, Joe, we've been at it for 30 minutes, but we are going to run a little overtime today. If you want to call in, you need to call in at 718-664-9476 to get involved, because we are down to the 5 minute and 30-second mark. And you know what, Joe? That's all I'm talking about, because this is going to be a 4-part series. Today, I just want to deal with unemployment. I'll recap real quickly. And I'm not even going to give you, I've given solutions, but I'm not even going to go over all the solutions, because there's so many problems to where the solution will sound foolish to a lot of folks. But here is one of the major problems. We still have double-digit unemployment, while the rest of the world is remained up under the single digits. We still refuse to sit back and to pursue happiness. And I'm going to tell you, the pursuit of happiness is one of our biggest obstacles. Number 3, we are scared to go across the Mason-Dixie line, as I want to call it, or the borders to the suburbs, because of the things that have happened to us in the past. Or one of the biggest excuses that we use is, my license are bold. my stuff is not right. Come on in here, Joe. You add something to it. There you go. I like that. I like that. And you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You know what? And you brought up a great point, and I want to continue working on with that slavery thing because you know what? I don't know where we get into this mentality. Half of us couldn't have made it in slavery because if we can't work in a free market, how will we have made it as slaves? That's why it kills me. We spend more time back in slavery than we do looking at the real world. You know, we are in a time and spot where there's so much opportunity to where it almost doesn't make good sense to fail. Now I have to ask myself, I know that some people have mental conditions, mental disabilities, and have some faults in character, but has the whole black community gone berserk? Right. And you know what, Joe? What made it bad? Let me tell you what makes it bad is the blacks that were slaves, they made it through. It's us that never even been nowhere near slavery, don't know half the history of slavery, but we become experts on something that we don't know and can't become experts in this new global economy. I still can't understand it. Right, right. I mean, once you know what? I'm not okay. Let me hit on that too. I'm tired of hearing that one too because I hear that. Well, you know, you just don't know what it is. No, they're not supposed to know, but you know. And as long as you know, if you're not doing anything about it, who is really playing who? I'm starting to believe, like you said, people are so used to drama and playing themselves, they have fallen in love with it. We are having an affair with being unemployed, sad and distracted, busted and disgusted. Anything that's negative, we are just associating, grabbing to it like a magnet, almost like flies on. You know what I'm talking about. I don't even have to say it for all of my people that are sitting there on Google hanging out with Les Jackson today. We've got Joe on the line, and he's sitting there bringing up some great points. And you know, it's a shame. It is a shame, and you have to ask yourself, how long? How long are we going to sit back? Are we going to wait until they come down with a civil war? Are we going to wait until they decide that, look, you know what? You have gotten out of control. You're no longer, you're null and void. I don't know how many people you remember the Twilight Zone. You remember the episode with Burgess Meredith when he was a librarian and the state decided he was obsolete? I am wondering how long is it going to be and how many times do you have to hear it being said that we are becoming obsolete? Every day, you even hear our black leaders say that we are in danger. We ought to be put on the endangered species list. Now, how long are we gonna keep falling for this and keep on proving it to be right? Joe, come on back in here. We got a few more minutes to talk. There you go. I like that. And you know what? You're absolutely right. You're absolutely. See, for some reason, we even started to blame God for our own defects. And everybody, like you said, we're waiting for God to do something. God put you here to take care of this stuff. Certain things we shouldn't even ask God about. I got into an argument with a lady just the other night on the phone. And I told her some things we don't even have no business asking God for. Because God gave you a mind and the ability to achieve. That's why I believe that's why he put the parable in the Bible about the talents. You know, the one had the five, the one had the three, and the one had the one, and the one with the one buried his. The one with the three did have a little bit of sense. He went out and he multiplied his, and the one with five did even bigger things and multiplied it even more. And so, it's almost like, but what was God really saying there? God was telling you that he put everything that you needed and everybody else needed, but are you going to be smart enough to sit back and use what I gave you, or are you going to be like that one that buries it? And it seems to me like Black America is trying to bury, and I'm not saying all of Black America, but most of Black America that were born in the late 70s, early 70s, right on up through present day, are tending to bury the very fibers and the talents that they have in order to succeed. Come on and close us out, Joe. Well, I will be back on tomorrow. We are going to continue the same discussion, Joe. And tomorrow we're going to talk about education. Tomorrow we're talking about education. Thursday we're going to talk about crime. And on Friday, I'll be done went out throughout the neighborhood and checked all my emails, and I'm going to just talk about the things, the comments that everybody has dropped to me, and I'm going to have some excerpts so you can hear what the people on the street really think. Joe, I want to thank you so much. Join me tomorrow. Come in early because I know you got a lot to say about this education thing. And once again, I want to thank everybody that sat back and tuned in to Open Talk with Les Jackson. I'm out of here, everybody. Until tomorrow, have a good day. Try to be safe. Try to get through without hurting anybody, because you know what? In the long run, it's not going to be worth it. So as we're live right now, we're shutting it down on Google Plus. We're no longer hanging out with you guys. Until tomorrow, we'll see you there. Joe, have a good one, brother, and we will talk to you very soon. And it is a wrap.
Because I'm starting to watch a people that used to be some of the creative people in the world. I'm starting to watch us lose that fire and desire to sit back and to step out on our own abilities because we're living, let's face it, there are going to be no more factories. The factory jobs are going to be gone. No people you worried about going to a factory and getting a job is going to pay you 25, 30, $40 an hour. It's not going to happen no more. Even people in the factories that are hired in now are going in at a lesser wage than ever before. So let's debunk that. Number two, there is more employment being generated by people who step out on things in the private sector than there is in the public sector. Why? Because a lot of people have come to the realization that the world is not going to give you anything, nor does it owe you anything. Therefore, you have to look out for yourself and your own well-being as well as your family around you. Number two, it's time that we sit back as a community and come up with a comprehensive plan. A comprehensive plan, a plan that makes sense, a plan that the community can understand, where maybe if we tune in a few things and a few dollars, we may be able to go get a loan to open up something other than a beauty salon, barber shop, church. We need print shops. We need research centers. We need things that are going to push us into tomorrow and not keep us back in the same old, long as I get my hair done, as long as I can dress up, I'm all right. And then something else that I just brainstormed on me. The places that are here, we need to start demanding from a lot of the places that they do have more blacks. And I'm not talking about no affirmative action here. It's Democrats step in with the affirmative action. I'm not talking about no affirmative action. I'm talking about demanding if we are going to spend more money than everybody else, and if everybody is doctoring for our dollars, then we also demand we get a certain percentage of the job. Let's face the fact. I don't see that many people denying the kids whether they're working or not working. There are not a few people that are denying their kids the PlayStation, the gym shoes, all of the things that really won't develop them or give them any kudos or build their status in one shape, form, or fashion. But yet, I see them always talking about trying to make some quick money. Always talking about making quick money. And we should realize by now that quick money is most of the time dead money or institutionalized result money. That's more our kids are so full now.